Today is Thursday, November 21st, 2024, day 0 of LiveHard Phase 3. Oh, it's that time. It is that time. Tomorrow, I begin the final phase of the LiveHard program. This is the most challenging one, as I've done with 75 Hard, Phase 1, Phase 2, and now with Phase 3. The day before we get things kicked off, I come on here and I want to tell you a little bit about this particular program, what my plans are for it, and some of the rules that are in place for this, and why this is the most challenging portion of the LiveHard program. So without any further ado, I will be referencing the book on mental toughness, chapter 46, phase 3, purpose and rules. Phase 3 rules: you must complete 75 hard and phase 1 and 2 before beginning phase 3. Check to all of them. Phase 3 must be completed in the last 30 days of the 365 days since you started 75 hard. Example, if you started 75 hard on April 1st, then you cannot start phase 3 until March 1st. So for me, if you recall, we started me and my wife, all right, she has not continued the LiveHard program with me doing the phases, it's just me, but we started 75 hard on December 22nd, 2023. And so now tomorrow, November 22nd, 2024 is when I start phase 3, so the final 30 days. You must complete every critical task exactly as stated for 30 consecutive days. We'll go through the critical tasks that we have to do. If you fail to complete a single critical task on any day, then you fail the entire LiveHard program. There is no going back to day 1 on phase 3, the whole program. You start over with 75 hard, phase 1, phase 2, and then you can start phase 3 again. That's why this is one of the reasons why this is the most challenging phase. Because with 75 hard, if you failed, you started over with the 75 days. Phase 1, you failed any day, you started over with day 1. Same thing with phase 2, not so with phase 3. You fail the entire program, have to start the program over if you fail any day. We've not failed any day so far, so this is it. This is going to be the final test. So here we go. Here are the critical tasks, all right? The first 5 are going to be ones that you've heard before. By heard before, I mean every single phase of this LiveHard program, 75 hard, 1, 2, and now 3. First 5 are the same. Task number 1, choose a diet and commit to it, all right? That includes no alcohol. That is the one caveat that Andy Frisella puts in there. Critical task number 2, drink a gallon of water per day. Critical task number 3, work out twice a day for 45 minutes per session. One of them has to be outside. There's got to be a 3-hour gap between them. Critical task number 4, read 10 pages a day of a nonfiction, entrepreneurial, or personal development book. Critical task number 5, take a daily progress picture. All right, so those have been standard through all the phases. But here we go. Critical task number 6 is similar to the critical tasks, to one of the critical tasks in phase 1, which is add 3 critical tasks to the power list. So 3 extra things that you need to add to your own personal power list that you need to get done. These tasks should be tied to your goals and vision. They don't need to be the same day in and day out, but they must be completed, and they shouldn't be something that's already part of your daily habit. So I can't put something like, brush my teeth every day. All right, I already do that. Or, hey, drink coffee every... No, it's nothing like that. So it's got to be something that'll help get me to my goals that I have in life. And so I have worked on stuff over the past year, for my business and personal stuff, to where I know kind of the goals that I want to get to. And so I'll explain what I'm going to do for this particular task, which is really 3 different tasks that I have to do every day in just a bit. We're going to go back through all of these, and I'm going to tell you what my plan is for these different items. Critical task number 7, take a 5-minute cold shower. This is also a thing that we did during phase 1. Yeah, that'll be fun. Critical task number 8, talk to a stranger. All right, someone I don't know, talk to a stranger every day for 30 days straight. And critical task number 9, perform one random act of kindness. All right, the goal of phase 3 is, now that you've spent all this time developing yourself, you naturally now need to turn that attention outward. And while not abandoning the work you're doing on yourself, you also need to begin to add value to other people, to solve problems, to learn the skill of having a conversation with someone that's not through a screen or not via text. Right, things like that's kind of the purpose of this. So let's go back through each of those tasks, and I'll kind of share with you what my plans are for these. Choose a diet and commit to it. So I have been told about a diet that was in the 4-Hour Body book, written by the same guy, the 4-Hour Work Week. I've not read all of this, but I got it just for the diet portion, which, let me try and find it. I feel like I should have had the exact page marked, but I didn't. All right, this book calls it the slow carb diet. Other terms that I've heard for something similar to what's in here is like carb cycling. Okay, so there are 5 rules for this diet. Rule number 1, avoid white carbohydrates or anything that can be white. So rice, flour, breads, things like that. Things that I already avoid. Potatoes, stuff like that. Things that are high carb. I already don't do that most every single day because just my body doesn't handle carbs very well, and my blood sugar stays pretty high. And so until the Father completely heals me of that, I want to eat as best I can. All right. This body is the temple that he has given me, so I want to try and treat it as best I can. It gets injured from time to time, or I sprain my wrist doing stuff. That'll limit some of the things with the workouts I can do right away, but we're not to that point yet. All right, rule number 1, avoid white carbohydrates. Eat the same few meals over and over again. That's rule number 2, which we already kind of do. We mostly do like chicken thighs and vegetables and things. And then I mostly consume high protein, high fat, keto style stuff. Rule number 3, don't drink calories. So no sugary soft drinks, no alcohol. No alcohol is already part of it. Not going to be a problem. He also says, increase your water consumption, which will be part of the LiveHard program. Rule number 4, don't eat fruit. I don't really ever eat fruit, hardly, just because of the fructose, the spikes the blood sugar. Rule number 5, this is an issue, and this is where the carb cycling comes in. Take 1 day off per week and go nuts. So he says you can eat whatever junk you want as much as you want. He says he tends to do it till he gets sick of the sugary sweetness and junk and whatever else, so that motivates him the other 6 days of the week to not eat that stuff. I think I've developed enough discipline in my life in the last month. Like, I'm not even tempted by like cake or donuts or anything. So what I'm going to do for that day, 1 day per week, I will allow myself carbs. And what that means is, if there is potatoes that we want to add to a meal, if there is bread or pasta or something like that, I will only eat that stuff 1 day per week to get carbs. So because what I found, something I noticed, and the reason why this particular diet came up is a few weeks back, me and my wife went out to eat with a friend of mine. We went to a Mexican restaurant, and we'd been eating good since Sukkot. Sukkot, we ate a lot of carbs, all right? I didn't feel well after that because I hadn't been eating carbs, not just for this program, but for my everyday life. And so we had started to clean that up, and we're pretty much doing keto stuff. Well, we went to the Mexican restaurant, and there were chips, there were tortillas, there were stuff. I think I had some rice there too. But when my wife and I noticed the next day, like, we felt good. We actually felt like we were down. We were slimmer. We weren't as bloated. And so we told my friend about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's like a carb cycling thing." He was like, "So there's this book called The 4-Hour Body," and he told us why that phenomenon is there, but it only works. This slow carb diet, as it's called, only works if you completely avoid carbs the rest of the week. All right, so just 1 day per week, have carbs. That's what I'm going to allow myself to do. So that's the diet that I'm choosing. And I'd love to say that it will always be the exact same day of the week each week. In fact, that was my original plan. But with the time of year that we're at, we've got Thanksgiving coming up. There's going to be family get-togethers. There's an event I have to go to tomorrow where I will probably get served a chicken biscuit. Right. So for day one of this thing, and then later that night we're having Shabbat, like we're hosting here, and so I know we're gonna have potatoes and soup. So my one carb day is going to be tomorrow for that week, and then next week we'll have Thanksgiving on Thursday, so that'll be my 1 day that week that I allow myself to have carbs because of what's going to be served. There's going to be mashed potatoes, there'll be rolls and things like that, but most of the time it'll be either a Friday or a Saturday, depending on when we get together with our Shabbat group over the next 30 days. That will be the day that I allow myself to have carbs. But no matter what, hard and fast, just according to the rules there, 1 day per week, I allow myself to have carbs. That's it. So that's what we're going to do. Or I should say, step outside of a keto diet. There's going to be carbs and vegetables and things like that, but none of the white carbohydrates or fruit or anything like that that is in his rule. So that's the diet, the slow carb diet. You call it carb cycling. There's lots of variations, but it is based off what is in the 4-Hour Body book. Drink a gallon of water a day. Task number 2. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I have my Refuge Medical 32-ounce quart size bottle in the fridge. I put purified water in it, and then I fill up my Yeti as far as it'll go and still get the lid on. Then I drink the last little bit, fill the water bottle back up to 32 ounces, put it back in the fridge, and then I know once I drain my Yeti, I finished a quart. So I'll do that 4 times a day. All right, so that I found worked very, very well for me during the last couple phases, so I'm going to keep on with that. Work out twice a day for 45 minutes per session when I'm outside. I'm going to try and do both my workouts outside as much as possible. I have a larger pack now that weighs more, and I'm going to be slowly adding weight to that. I've kind of fallen off on the rucking and exercising since phase 2. That was my own fault. I've just dropped the ball on that. We're going to get back on the horse and get that done. So with my injury, push-ups aren't really an option right now, just because that really hurts. But there is some manual labor I have to do on the property here. A lot of raking through some thick grass and thick stuff that's there, moving logs, chopping logs, sawing logs, moving things, I'll incorporate some of that stuff for my second workout, but I'm also going to run. I can do core work, ab workouts. I do have a weight bench I can do some sit-ups on. I have some dumbbells and stuff. I'll have to be careful with that, just because I don't want to tweak this wrist anymore. This is my dominant hand, and so I also have to watch out for that. But again, the idea is for 45 minutes, twice a day, I'm going to stay active, stay moving, stay doing stuff, all right? And yeah, that'll be what I do there. Next one, read 10 pages a day, nonfiction, entrepreneurial, personal development. So I'm going to start tomorrow to read 10 pages of this book. It's Beyond the E-Myth. The sleeve is like right up here for it, but Beyond the E-Myth, it's in the series of E-Myth books. This one I have not read before. It's not terribly long, so yeah, 140. So yeah, I'll get done with this before the end, and then I have another book, Finance Your Own Business, that's up here on the shelf that you probably can't see. That's what I'll read next. Critical task number 5, take a daily progress picture. I will do that first thing when I wake up. I found a lot of success and consistency doing that during phase 2. I think I started doing that during phase 1 also, but first thing I do, I'm going to go in the half bath, take a picture with this camera because I don't have a smartphone, and get that critical task checked off the list. Not a problem. All right, add 3 critical tasks to the power list. I have my own power list of 5 items that I do as far as my business, my ministry, and the property here, so I guess businesses and such. So I have those things. I got to add 3 tasks to it, and these are things that I value in my life that will get me to where I want to go that I either haven't started yet or haven't been consistent with it. And so two of the things are things that I've done quite often, but it just dropped off as of late, and that is reading my Bible and praying. So every day I'm going to read a minimum of one chapter in the Bible. I'm probably going to pick a book and go through it, and then I'm going to pray for at least 15 minutes every day. Just have a conversation with God and talk to Him. So those are things that have fallen off for me personally that I, again, want to get back and do. One of the personal goals I have for myself as far as reading every day, I want to read something or 3 types of things every day. Like, that's a personal goal, planning out my ideal day in everyday life for me. I like to read the Bible, all right? I'd like to read something that I need to learn or grow, so the personal development, entrepreneurial, business type stuff. But then I also want to read something for fun that I enjoy. And so that is going to be, so that's something that I want to incorporate in my life anyway. I'm already being forced to read an entrepreneurial growth type thing. I'm going to get back in the habit of reading the Bible every day, but then I also want to pick some of the books on the side here and read something that I'm interested in. All right, normally it'll be something related to the Bible, for Bible study. There are a couple fictional works up here that are religious in nature that I do want to read, so I'm going to read at least one chapter of a book that I'm just personally interested in to read for fun and enjoyment. That's going to be my third critical task. So read a chapter of the Bible, read a chapter of a book for fun, pray for 15 minutes. Those are going to be my 3 that I want to make daily habits in my life. And then my other 5 critical tasks, I'm not going to go through those every day, items on my power list. But it's stuff with working on my business, working in my business, working on the finances of my business, working on the property, and working on stuff for this channel here. All right. Originally, my third critical task was going to be recording a video every night, but I've been doing that through LiveHard Phase 1, Phase 2, and it says that these tasks shouldn't be something that is already part of your daily habits. So I feel like recording a video saying, oh, that's my third thing to the power list, that would be kind of cheating, and I don't want to cheat this. So yeah, critical task number 7, take a 5-minute cold shower. So I will do that whenever I take a shower, much like I did before. I'll still have my watch on in there, and I'll get the shower up to a comfortable temperature, get my watch ready, turn it to cold water, and wait for the first involuntary jolt, and then I'll start my timer, and I will keep some part of the midline of my body underneath the cold water. All right, it's not necessarily always going to be my head, but chest, back, whatever else, something in the midline of my body will be under the cold water for 5 minutes. So that's what I'm going to do there. Critical task number 8, talk to a stranger. This is the one that will be the most challenging. All right, I don't live close to too many people. All right, so I don't, like, I work here on the property, I work in my workshop over there, I don't interact with strangers every day. So I am going to have to make a point to go and find people. We're also praying at the same time that God starts to bring people to the property so that I get to talk to strangers and don't have to spend a lot of gas to drive, 20 minutes into town every single day and then 20 minutes back. So this will be a challenge for me, but yeah, we're going to make this happen. It doesn't have to be a long conversation. You just have to overcome your fear of talking to people. So I'm going to ask people questions. I'm going to ask for feedback on different things, recommendations on stuff at stores, whatever else. Tomorrow I get to go speak at the school that I used to teach at, and so I will have opportunity tomorrow on the first day to talk to strangers, so and to public speak, and I'll have some time for one-on-one conversation also with current students that I don't know personally, because it's been a couple years since I've taught there. So I know that task will be taken care of. But like on Saturdays, on Shabbats, on Thanksgiving Day, even like I have to find someone to talk to. So don't know exactly how it's going to play out, but I'm going to get that done. And then critical task number 9, random act of kindness for people. This I'll probably do in tandem with going out and finding people. Yeah, I'll just have to get it done. Like, I have no problem doing stuff without getting attention for, like, that's perfectly fine. I don't need recognition for the stuff. It's just going to be about being intentional to go out and make sure that that happens, just to make someone's life easier just a little bit, once per day. Just do something kind. That's the goal. That's what I'm going to do. Don't know how those last tasks are going to get done every day, but it doesn't matter. I am going to get them done. I'm purposing in my heart. I fully intend to do this, and I'll have you here every step of the way. Something that I did print but forgot to get off the printer. Again, the 12th C made a form for me to fill out. So in the videos for phase 3, much like phase 2, I'll be going through the checklist on that form where I keep track of all my tasks that I've done throughout the day. So yeah, if you are watching this, thank you so much. I know this probably isn't the most exciting content that's on this channel, but I am making a concerted effort again to get other things up. But mental toughness is going to be a key to surviving the greater exodus in the end times, which, fun fact, I think we're already in. But that's a video for another day. And learning to do hard things and accomplish your tasks no matter how you feel, that's going to be a key to us not complaining and returning to Egypt when the time comes. So that's why I'm doing this. I hope it'll be a blessing to you, so you can see that someone like me, who is not like, you know, your typical self-motivated alpha male dominant personality type person, you know, yeah, you can still get this stuff done. All right, you can do the hard work without abandoning your faith or your principles and things like that, and you can still mentally overcome the obstacles that are there. That's what I'm trying to do with myself to grow, and I just hope there's something in the series of, you know, more than 100 videos now, that you can glean from it that'll help you in your journey. So thank you so much for joining me for this first of hopefully 32 total daily check-ins. This is going to be a day after one also of phase 3 of the LiveHard program. Thank you so much for joining me. I pray that you're blessed. Bye.